Hello again. I couldn't miss the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Cable Street, particularly as I lived there only 100 yards from where the barricades were erected. But I don't wish to dwell upon that day in 1936. Instead, I'll concentrate on the commemorative march and rally from Altib Ali Park to Cable Street Mural in St George's Gardens, Shadwell, where a mass meeting featuring the usual collection of trade union bureaucrats and Labour and leftist hacks took place. Star of the show, the Corb himself. Marching from nearby Altib Ali Park, the demonstration, which included a few hundred black bloc anarcho-militant anti-fascists and their sound systems, took an eccentric route, avoiding Lehman Street to enter Cable Street via a side street. I strongly suspect this glaring omission had occurred because the organisers were well aware that this would have taken us past the notorious Ripper Museum, an issue of great contention here in this neighbourhood. There were many Labour Party banners out for that day, and Labour and various leftist speakers dominated the final rally. The march illustrated the mindset of today's passive left. The front wouldn't take the width of Cable Street, itself very narrow, shuffling along the cycle path. Only the block took the entire street. After the incident-free march, many stayed to luxuriate in the blasts of hot air emanating from on stage. Most of the anti-fascists who face the Nazis on the streets today had long departed. With this Labour love fest, a few home truths should be reiterated. Oswald Mosley himself was a member of the Labour Party cabinet before he quit to form the new party and the British Union of Fascists 80 years ago. The Labour Party instructed its members and advised the EastEnders not to be provoked, to ignore them, and to keep off the streets, as did the Communist Party up to 2 days before the BUF march. See Joe Jacobs' amazing book Out of the Ghetto for a description of all this. In the 1970s, when Labour were in power, they deployed 5,000 police to protect a National Front march through Lewisham, South London in August 1977. Once again, the local population and militant anti-fascists stood up to this provocation, physically defeating both fascists and police. This was the first time, incidentally, that riot shields were deployed on mainland Britain. I remember it well. During a violent police occupation of Southall, West London in April 1979, in the dying days of the Labour government, again over 5,000 police were deployed to protect a National Front election rally. In scenes reminiscent of the miners' strike in the 1980s, an anti-fascist, Blair Peach, was killed by rampaging riot police. In the 21st century, here in Tower Hamlets, the English Defence League have attempted, several times, to march through this area. Each time they were frustrated by the large local turnout in opposition. On the last occasion, the 7th of September 2013, hundreds were arrested as local youth and black bloc militants were kettled for hours by thousands of riot police. This was a direct result of collaboration between the local Labour Council, the official anti-fascist left, Unite Against Fascism, and the police. So much for Labour's anti-fascism, more like protecting the fascists from the 1930s right through to the present day. They detest direct action more than they do the fascists. Yet they have the brass neck effrontery to dominate proceedings the other day. Our memory is fogged up by this Corbyn nonsense. Today, in the Cable Street, Tower Hamlets, working class communities face a bitter struggle for their very survival. Not from fascists, but from a process far more deadly to our existence as EastEnders. It's not Nazi ethnic cleansing, but capitalist social cleansing. Within a short stroll from Cable Street, at Aldgate East, the highway, and points between, over 5,000 luxury apartments are being erected for the world's rich. Many will remain permanently empty. We have over 20,000 on the social housing waiting lists, a growing number of street homeless here in Tower Hamlets, and the local councils aiding and abetting this in central London and beyond? Overwhelmingly Labour. So let's have no more of this garbage about the Labour Party's anti-fascism. Today, them and the majority of the left share the same bed. Direct confrontation between anti-fascists and fascists on the streets is the last thing they desire, because it's all about not alienating future voters in the distant year of 2020. To the largest faction on the march, nowhere to be seen on the platform, the anarcho-black bloc, I would urge you all to continue to fight Nazis and fascists wherever they appear and on your own terms. But it's no longer a question of defending our communities and streets against fascist incursions. It is now the very existence of these streets and communities against the Manhattanization of London and elsewhere by the world's super rich. This has to be the next area of intense struggle. It's for our very survival against a foe more insidious and deadly than racist and fascist morons. Bye.